Hi everyone, welcome back to A Piece of Chrissy. I'm Chrissy, and today we are diving into the astrology of the week from April 7th to 13th, 2025. This week is packed with transformative energies that will help us heal, gain clarity, and make empowered decisions. We are finally moving out of the intense retrograde season that marked the first quarter of 2025. But before that, we will have some interesting insights with Mercury conjoining the North Node again, some potential relationship challenges with a Venus-Saturn conjunction, and an emotional full moon in Libra at the end of the week. Let's break it all down so you can align with these cosmic influences and use them to your advantage. Let's start on Monday, April 7th, when Venus in retrograde conjuncts with Saturn just as Mercury stations direct again. This is a moment of clarity, but perhaps not the easiest one. Think of it as a reality check in terms of love, finances, or self-worth. So if you've been revisiting past relationships or financial decisions, Saturn is here to test what you have learned. If this day feels really easy for you, or perhaps you even receive some good news, then congratulations, you have passed the test with flying colors. If on the other hand, this day turns out to be a challenge, then that's indicating that there are some karmic lessons around love, money, and how much you value yourself, which you still have to learn and still have to integrate into your life. Don't get disheartened if that happens. If anything, it's a huge opportunity for growth as soon as you are able to spot and understand that lesson that is presenting itself for you. So while this energy might feel heavy, that is just the signature of Saturn. It's a very heavy energy. It also brings us a chance to solidify the things that truly matter and build stability around them. Or if something isn't aligned with your long-term goals, then this is a good opportunity to let things go. Some key questions you want to ask yourself around this day are: what relationships or commitments are truly worth my time? Am I investing my resources, emotional or financial, wisely? What boundaries do I need to set for my well-being? Meanwhile, Mercury finally moving direct again means the confusion of the last few weeks is finally lifting. Delays and miscommunications will start untangling, but with Venus still in retrograde at this point, patience is key. Your thoughts will become clearer on a personal level, but we need to look at relationships as their own separate entity, where 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, but it equals 3 because the relationship is its own separate thing. So while the two people that form part of this relationship might be ready to move on and move forward on an individual level, the relationship itself will still need a little bit of time to catch up, at least until Venus goes direct again at the end of the week. And the other thing to keep in mind is that Mercury is also still in shadow, which means that it hasn't yet returned to the point it was at before it went into retrograde. So while it is relatively safe now to start new projects, you want to ease yourself into that process instead of rushing full speed ahead. Think of it like you are finally back in the driver's seat of your car, but before you can slam down the gas pedal, you need to make sure that your seatbelt is on, check your mirrors and your lights, and make sure you've got some water and some snacks for the journey ahead. This day is about grounding yourself in reality and prepare for forward momentum. So one way you might like to use this energy is with a grounding meditation. With Mercury going direct again, meditations should feel a little easier again. And this exercise will help to prevent your mind from immediately going back into overdrive. And bonus points if you do it somewhere in a beautiful, natural location. You will feel amazing afterwards. By Friday, April 11th, Mercury meets the North Node in Pisces for a third and final time. This transit first happened on the 1st of March, then again while Mercury was in retrograde exactly 1 week before, on April 4th. So there is a situation in your life which first started taking shape at the start of March, which you've had to revisit last Friday. And now, during the third hit, you are promised to finally gain some clarity and some understanding on your destined karmic path ahead. You can look to the house of your chart, which is ruled by Pisces, and where Mercury naturally falls, in order to be able to work out where in your life this situation has presented itself and which area of your life is going to be affected as a long-term result. The North Node represents our destiny and our higher purpose. So with Mercury direct again, this transit can show itself as fated conversations with somebody, just a sense of knowing what the next step is, or perhaps external opportunities for you to align the way you think and the way you speak with your higher purpose and your soul's mission. So pay close attention to any insights, interesting conversations, or gut feelings on that day. Something is pointing you towards your future, and you will be able to see it with much more clarity now. Adding to this, Mars trines the North Node on the very same day, giving us motivation to take action. And how beautiful is that? So first we gain some clarity so that we understand where we need to go, and then in comes Mars and gives us the courage and the energy to step onto this new path which is unfolding directly in front of us. If you've been hesitant about a decision or stuck in the cycle of overthinking, this is your moment to move forward. Together, these transits create a beautiful day for understanding and connecting with your purpose and taking meaningful action towards it. The universe is essentially handing you emotional strength and momentum, so don't sit on it, but use it wisely. And to help you spot these opportunities, you can use a mantra, like, for example, I trust my intuition to guide me towards my destiny. And then set some reminders on your phone, and whenever they go off, just repeat that mantra, ideally out loud, or if you can't because of the environment you are in, even quietly in your head a couple of times. And then pay attention to the thoughts and insights that come buzzing into your mind, either directly at that time or afterwards. Then, on Sunday, April 13th, we reach the full moon in Libra, which directly opposes Chiron in Aries. This is a deeply emotional lunation, shining a light on past wounds around relationships, self-identity, and balance. In Libra, the sign of relationships and balance and harmony, this full moon asks us to reflect on how we show up in relationships, to seek balance between our needs and those of others, and to release patterns that disrupt harmony. And the interesting thing is that this full moon directly opposes Chiron in Aries, Chiron the wounded healer. So this brings up themes of vulnerability and self-worth. Your emotions might get triggered by old wounds relating to confidence or rejection. The key is to acknowledge these feelings without judgments, see how much they have contributed to your growth, and use them as a foundation for your healing. And you may even be able to move on to a form of gratitude to past challenges you've had, where you realize that having to deal with rejection or having to deal with these self-confidence issues has actually made you stronger over the long run and has made you the person who you are now. And the great news is that this full moon also conjuncts the fixed star Spica, which promises reward and protection, especially around areas where we have been hurt or mistreated in the past. So while emotions may get triggered, there is a promise of reward and of something positive coming out of the other side, taking some of the sting out of that pain. It also charges up our creativity. So you may find that you are able to really channel all of these raw emotions into beautiful creative projects like paintings or music or poetry or whatever your favorite creative outlet is. On the same day, Venus finally stations direct again, marking the end of her retrograde journey. So after weeks of re-evaluating love, money and self-worth, we are now finally ready to move on with higher wisdom. Relationships may either solidify or dissipate depending on what you have learned during the Venus retrograde, both about yourself and about each other. So just trust that whatever's unfolding is in your highest good, even if it might not initially look like it. And with Venus finally moving direct again, this means that now all major planets are in direct motion again. So we might see some rapid changes, both in our personal lives and in the world around us. The doors to progress essentially are wide open, and we shall see where the path takes us. This is a really nice day to treat yourself to something luxurious that aligns with your values. For example, a beautiful piece of jewelry, if that's in your budget. Or if you are looking to manifest a relationship, you can try manifesting through art. For example, by painting or drawing or decorating your home with objects in pairs, like candles or flowers, for example, which beautifully represents the Libra energy and a sense of harmony and balance. So this week is a turning point. Mercury direct brings clarity, Mars and the North Node urge us forward, and the full moon in Libra promises us to heal and grow. Which transit resonates most with you? Let me know in the comments below. And if you would like some personalized insights into how the upcoming energies affect your personal chart directly, you can book a consultation with me through my website, which I will have linked in the description bar below. I would love to dive deeper with you. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who loves astrology. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.